I'm here with a young guy, a young athlete, who I believe has got all the potential and all the will to become a superstar in my game. I'm speaking of Jye McNeil. Welcome, Jye.
Thanks, Bossy. Great to be joining you today.
Yeah, it's great to be here with you, mate. Let's go back to where it all started.
So for me, I was a young lad that grew up on a dairy farm, northern Victoria, in a town just outside of Kerrang called Mile, along the Murray River. And I grew up riding motorbikes and driving tractors, and it wasn't till around the age of 14 before I became interested in riding horses.
That's remarkable, because I would have thought, you know, I come from a dairy farm background myself, and I started riding horses when I was 4 years old. I kind of would have thought that was the same for you.
I was always around horses because they were on the farm, and I used to really enjoy going to the races with Dad and the brothers. You know, when I was younger, I was a little bit scared and a little bit timid of the horses and riding. And I wasn't really attracted to getting on until I sort of wanted to be a jockey. So I had to pick it up quick, and it all happened very fast, but thankfully I was somewhat natural.
Yeah, you're a natural, right? Well, let's talk about Twilight Payment. Obviously, the Melbourne Cup, like it's our biggest major at such a young age. I rode in the race. I know how good your ride was. It was unbelievable.
It was actually really hard for me in the early stages to get Twilight Payment motivated. He didn't begin that well, and he really flopped from the barriers. And the fact that I drew 12 just allowed me a bit of time to come across. And once we got into our role, he relaxed fantastic. I was a little bit concerned pre-race of what speed I should be going. I've never ridden in a race over 2 mile before, and thankfully I was able to just gel with the horse, and then the focus just turned from settling, breathing and finding rhythm to really starting to up the tempo from the 1,000 metre mark or the 1,200 metre mark.
Yep.
And he put about 3 or 4 lengths on the field, and
he showed more turn of speed than you probably thought.
Yeah. And I thought, geez, I'm going really well here. But obviously, in saying that, you know how long the Flemington Straight is.
You're kind of thinking, have I exposed myself too early? Because,
Correct.
They're all going to be coming, but...
Yeah, which they did do. At that stage, I really clicked into a bit of autopilot, I guess, just trying to get absolutely everything out of him, which he gave me.
Can you describe what it was like for you? I know what it felt like for me, and I just want to know how it felt for you.
I can still remember, crossing the line and knowing that I've won the race, the hairs standing up on the back of your neck sort of stuff. You got that 20 to 30 seconds to really bond with the horse and enjoy the moment together, and that's something that I still remember every time that I talk about the Melbourne Cup. And from there it's straight into your post-race interviews, and the emotions are still very raw and new. I still remember you coming up and welcoming me to the club, which is a great moment. It is a real whirlwind.
So, Jye, obviously you win the Melbourne Cup and it's just euphoria. There's weeks of it. Your feet don't touch the ground. But the flip side of that, there can be a come down.
Yeah, for me it was not a normal thing to be dealing with so much intense, media and talk about the Melbourne Cup, and it was a real distraction for me on the track. I really just didn't feel present and wasn't fully focused on my career after the Melbourne Cup. I went back and visited Gerald, who obviously was my master and a great mentor, and he said to me, put the cup up on the shelf and get back to work. And that's exactly what I needed. I needed someone to point me in the right direction and know what needed to be done, and that was to get back to work.
Jye, I want to touch on that amazing day you had at Caulfield at the start of the autumn, which is the timing couldn't be any better. You just seemed to be riding with such flow, such confidence, such timing. Tell me what your mindset was and how you felt on that day.
It was a great achievement at Caulfield. I really felt as though I was in the zone, seeing things in slow motion and making all the right decisions. And obviously it's all got to come together, and you've got to be on the right horses and everything. But I've taken great confidence from that meeting, and really looking forward to the autumn ahead.
It's no fluke that you ride 5 winners, because you put the preparation in.
Yeah.
Jye, what about the Guineas this year? It's a great race to win. What kind of horses would you be looking at now that you potentially would like to get on?
For me, I think Pinstripe has put all the writing on the wall.
At the 50, Pinstripe takes Dennison Darcy, then Luna Cat. Pinstripe, a good winner.
I just like the versatility and the way they go about it. So for me, it would be definitely Pinstripe.
That's a good performance. Pinstripes made a surging run around them. This is a nice gelding. Pinstripes.
Jye, the work-life balance is very important. You know, having young Oakley at 25 years old and I did the same, had my boy Tate at 25 years. I found it to be a great distraction for me because, you know, racing is a all-consuming game.
I guess at the time when we were preparing to have Oakley, I was a little bit concerned that with life being so busy and me being a little bit younger that, you know, I wasn't going to have the time to be around and things like that. But it actually had the opposite effect to me. You know, I found myself finding more time to spend with them, and you know, when you get home, you can, no matter what sort of a day you've had, you walk in the door and you just relax into being a dad, and
yeah.
it's a very special bond. You can just get home and forget about everything.
In this game, are you looking much further ahead, like 6 or 12 months, or are you in the moment? How is your mindset going to the future?
Definitely in the moment, week by week, and I guess short term, I'm really looking forward to. I'm thunderstruck. He's put the writing on the wall. He's come back in brilliant form for the autumn. I guess a goal outside of focusing on big races would be the premiership as well.
Yeah.
I'm in a position where I'm going to be competitive, and I'd love to really, you know, put all my motivation and energy into doing well at achieving that goal.
Well, thanks, Jye. I've got so much admiration for you. I think you're going to, without a doubt, go all the way.
No, I appreciate that, Bossy.
And from my point of view, like, you've won one Melbourne Cup. You've got to win another 2 yet. and after you win another 2, go for the 4th one.
Got a bit of catching up to do.
Yeah, do that.